CCTV News will bring you live coverage of the manual docking mission in a few hours. We have two broadcast teams giving us the latest. Our reporter Zhang Nini is standing by at the Beijing Aerospace Command and Control Center, and Liao Ruochen is in the Xi'an Satellite Observation and Control Center. Now let's talk to Nini first. Hello Nini, you've been following the latest development very closely. So how's the preparation going?
Hello, Pandeng. About 20 minutes ago, the ground staff here has just issued a command to fully activate the Shenzhou 9. As we know that in the past few days, the Tiangong 1 is taking over the control of the complex, and now both of the two vehicles have been fully activated. And on the big screen, we can see that all of the astronauts have already changed into their white pressurized suits. They have entered into the re-entry module of the Shenzhou 9 spacecraft and making final preparations for today's manual docking procedure. As we know, now let's talk about the condition of these astronauts. Well, in the past few days, we've seen these astronauts have conducted video calls with ground staff and also with family members. They have also received and sent emails and also spent their first Dragon Boat Festival aloft. So from the data that have been relayed back, the astronauts are in very good physical and psychological state, so they are very well prepared to carry out today's procedure. And we know that both Liu Wang and Jing Haipeng have been practicing the manual docking in simulated environments for over 1,500 times. In case of any emergency, Jing Haipeng will serve as a backup in this mission, so they should be prepared for this task today. And also on Friday, the crew has also tested the positioning on the Shenzhou 9 spacecraft, and the complex has responded to Liu Wang's command precisely. So I think we're good to go, Pandeng.
Well, Nini, compared to the automated docking, what challenges are the astronauts facing in using manual controls?
Well, the manual docking has several advantages, and the most important is that it allows the astronauts to take immediate action should anything go wrong. From an international point of view, the United States prefers manual docking and failed only twice, whereas the former Soviet Union likes the automatic docking more and failed around 15 times. So, and the manual docking also saves the time and the amount of fuel burns in the process, but it requires the astronauts to work for 3 hours non-stop on two vehicles of high velocity, and meanwhile they also need to deal with all kinds of sickness and the loss of direction in the microgravity environment. And also the astronauts are subject to the lighting condition. If the lighting is too dark or too strong, it might affect the visibility inside the cabin. And meanwhile they also need to deal with all kinds of uncertainties in space. But an automatic docking can avoid some of the human errors, but in case of any emergencies, it's not as flexible or reliable as the manual docking, so it's better for the unmanned mission and relies a lot more on the ground support. Pandeng.
Thank you very much, Nini, indeed. Zhang Nini at Beijing Aerospace Command and Control Center. Now let's talk to Liao Ruochen in Xi'an. Ruochen, how about you? How about where you are? What preparations have been in place there?
Hello, Pandeng. The preparation work started on the 22nd when Commander Jing Haipeng tested the flight control system, which will be used to adjust the flight posture and docking maneuver, and is thus vital to today's mission. Once the Shenzhou 9 enters manual control mode, the staff here at the Xi'an Satellite Control Center will mainly be watching the progress closely on the big monitor behind me. Also, there will be a team of scientists and engineers to provide any technical support via real-time communication. For most spacefaring countries, the manual control system is used as a backup for the automatic control. But since it is China's first experimental attempt, the system works both ways. In case of emergency or malfunction, it can be switched back to automatic control at any time. Back to you, Pandeng.
Well, Ruochen, give us some technical background. What's the level of difficulty for manually operating a spaceship?
Well, to get a better idea of what they face up there, here's a group of statistics I can share with you. Both the Shenzhou 9 and Tiangong 1 are flying at the speed close to 8 kilometers per second. And for successful docking, the required relative speed between the two spacecraft is less than 0.2 meters per second. The contrast between these two numbers may seem staggering, but there's a reason why the manual control is chosen as the backup system by most countries, because in the space there's no interference from wind or friction or any other environment issues, so it is relatively easier for the two spacecraft to remain still. Also, the astronauts will be required to stay very focused during the whole process, but our astronauts have had adequate training in simulation, so it should not be a big challenge for them. Back to you, Pan Deng.
Thank you very much, Ruochen, indeed. Liao Ruochen at Xi'an Satellite Observation and Control Center.